This podcast is produced by the Fireside Chat Club of Canada.
Hello, and welcome to Canada as I See It. And that is Derek. Thank you so much, Derek, for introducing the podcast. So, this week, I received a friend request on Facebook. It's not as big of a thing as it used to be, back in the day. But back then, actually in the early 21st century, Facebook had a thing called pokes. It was a virtual method of, poking someone to get their attention before actually chatting with them. I was surprised to see that it is actually still a thing on that platform. Go figure. So anyway, back then, 20 years ago, I guess prior to Facebook, there was a site called Classmates. And a brief search tells me that they're actually still around too. And they have a Facebook page. So, anyway, you used to log into that site to see if you could find friends, usually from high school or something like that. Well, I actually did, and it was also before we were all so paranoid about whether or not a friend was actually legit, because, that seems to be the thing these days, spreading misinformation. So it was actually exciting because, you made a conscious effort to turn on your computer, turn on your modem, connect the phone line, if you didn't have one of those cable splitters, and then start the dial-up routine so that you could connect to your internet service provider, which was a separate company from your landline phone provider. Oh, my goodness. Okay, it's a cool story, though. Honestly, I still have a landline telephone. I actually pay more for it than I do my mobile service. Hey, don't judge. I don't smoke. I don't drink to excess. Electronic connectivity is my bag, man. So, I actually also have another number that is the same phone number that my parents had when I was born. I'm not giving it out, but if you do have it written down somewhere, you can still get a hold of me on it. It's been parked as a wireless number, and usually we use it so that people can get a hold of us when we're up in the hinterland at the cottage, seemingly slightly below the tree line, although there are a lot of them up there. Okay, maybe not that far, but it's definitely remote. Anyway, I know, what can I say? I'm a hopeless romantic. I still have my phone from when I was a kid, and it actually plays a neat song when you use an old school push button phone to dial it. And there's another word, right? Oh my goodness. Where was I? Oh yeah, okay. So, if you got connected to someone back in the classmate days, you could be relatively sure it was them. Well, not so much these days, because that friend request that I told you about so long ago, I received on Facebook. It was from William Shatner .259562. Yeah, I don't think that's actually the Star Trek actor. It was incredibly coincidental, though, because I had commented on another social media platform on a real post from Mr. Shatner, an April Fool's Day gag, actually, where he was purported to have accepted an invitation from a billionaire to be the first of a select group of people to fly to Mars this year, at the age of 94. Well, I answered in kind, as if it were real, congratulating him and wishing him long life and prosperity as he breaches the atmospheric wall that holds our oxygen near to us, to boldly go where no man has gone before. Yeah, you can hear this one coming, right? Naturally, someone thought I was serious and replied with, "It's an April Fool's Day joke." Oh, humor is lost on some people. So, anyway, long story longer, this is the person I'm speaking about today. William Shatner, O.C. No middle name, but the O.C. stands for the Order of Canada, which he is an officer of, and that's actually the middle of 3 degrees of the award. He was born on March 22nd, 1931, in the Notre-Dame-de-Grâce neighborhood of Montreal, which makes him 7 months minus a day older than my mother was. William's father, Joseph, was a clothing manufacturer, and William earned a Bachelor of Commerce degree from McGill University in 1952. He really wasted no time beginning his career, as we now know it. He gained a role in a Canadian comedy drama called The Butler's Night Off, while he was still studying at McGill in commerce. So it seems that there's some parallels between his and my career, because I actually studied business management at Ryerson before I decided that I wanted to be an actor in radio dramas, because, well, let's face it, those of you who know me understand that Mr. Shatner got the good-looking genes, where I got the unending, hilarious sense of humor and the ability to tell 7 stories simultaneously. Yeah. So one of Mr. Shatner's earliest acting gigs was as the understudy of another up-and-coming Canadian actor, Christopher Plummer, in a 1956 production of Henry V at the Stratford Shakespearean Festival. In fact, he actually found himself taking over the role one day when Mr. Plummer took ill with a kidney stone. Been there, done that. The kidney stone thing, not Stratford. Can you imagine Mr. Shatner as King Henry? Yeah, it is said that he definitely made the role his own. Mr. Shatner actually gave Mr. Plummer a chance to redeem himself about 55 years later, when he invited him to bring the character of General Chang, the Klingon warrior, to life in the 6th Star Trek movie, The Undiscovered Country. And man, that was a role. If you haven't seen it, I mean, Star Trek movies are you either like them or you don't sort of thing. But really, to see Christopher Plummer bring all of the gravitas that he can to a role, yeah, it was striking. So Mr. Shatner's first television role took place a couple of years earlier in 1954 on The Howdy Doody Show. No, I'm not going to say it. His first Hollywood role was in 1958's The Brothers Karamazov, alongside Yul Brynner. And in addition to those roles, he was quite the Broadway star as well. He continued to pad his resume with movie, Broadway, TV roles. One that actually stood out for me was in the Twilight Zone's episode called Nightmare at 20,000 Feet. I obviously did not see this when it originally ran, but have seen it in reruns. And this is the one, you may know this, where he believes he's seeing a terrifying monster / alien looking into the plane while sitting on the wing. That's very, very frightening for the time. By this point, you could really tell that he was checking out sci-fi and dramatic roles. He acted in The Outer Limits, Judgment at Nuremberg, A Shot in the Dark. Although, if you know him, you know that he really possesses that driest of Canadian humor thing. And he is actually well aware that using that and his ability to overact, it makes him an extremely entertaining individual. So we're up to 1964 now, the best year ever. Yes, go ahead. Okay, yeah. Anyway, he found himself in an episode of The Man from U.N.C.L.E. And U.N.C.L.E. is the United Network Command for Law and Enforcement. It kind of reminds me of the Foundation for Law and Government from the 1980s TV show Knight Rider, although I have to say the former had admittedly better writers. So that episode also starred a gentleman by the name of Leonard Nimoy. Someone that would be a huge part of Mr. Shatner's life a couple of years later when they took two of the starring roles in a TV show called Star Trek. You may have heard of it. Yeah, so that happened. 3 years of Star Trek, which incidentally was produced by Desi Arnaz and Lucille Ball's production company, Desilu. And then there was a revival in 1979 with a movie reads like a Mahler symphony. I think it is actually still playing somewhere forever. That spawned 5 more movies for the original crew of the Starship Enterprise. The Starship Enterprise also had another Canadian on it, James Doohan, and he's also on my list of Canadian celebrities that I'll be taking a look at, and see a few more after that, and a very bright reboot from J.J. Abrams. Several television series are still being produced, and I don't know how many tangents I'm into now, but here's another one. Did you know that Toronto is the base for all current TV Star Trek shows, and a movie, actually, that came out earlier this year? Pinewood Studios in Toronto's East End is home to an 18,000 square foot location called the Star Trek Stage. So from there, Mr. Shatner went on to play a police sergeant on T.J. Hooker, a lawyer in Boston Legal, and over 200 other roles on television. One show, though, that I quite liked, and it wasn't scripted, it was a reality show that he was on, called Better Late Than Never. It's hard to believe that was actually about 9 years ago now. It actually, like I said, it was a reality show, and it had William teaming up with other cultural icons, Henry Winkler, Terry Bradshaw, and George Foreman. They traveled around the world, checking out places like Tokyo, Thailand, Germany, Sweden, Spain, Morocco. Yeah, so the shtick, old fishes out of water. Let's see how many odd, funny situations we can get these guys into. Sure, it's contrived, but when you get a know-it-all together with everyone's favorite guy, the obnoxious one, and a straight man, you might have to back up because I noted those in the order I named them earlier. And, well, what can I say? Hilarity ensues. Picture one scene in particular. Picture an 85-year-old speed climbing up a flight of stairs near Mount Fuji, leaving the other 3 in his dust, including the former athlete and 20 years his junior heavyweight boxing champion. Only, let's see, 13, I think, episodes were ever made. 13, 12, something like that. But dang, it was funny. So I mentioned last week that I would be looking at musicians a bit more. Well, I'm not discarding that like you may be thinking this week. William Shatner has a very unique way of presenting a song. Oh, well, okay, tangent time. While I'm thinking of it, I saw a thing today. Leonard Nimoy actually has a connection to The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, more so the books, because back in the day, he sang a version of Bilbo Baggins. And, oh, seriously, look it up. It's, it's one of those it's so bad it's good things. But anyway, so William Shatner and singing. Yeah, he has a way of presenting a song. Not so much singing, but Mr. Shatner talks his way through a song in only a way that he can. Well, okay, put it this way. You've heard of the Oxford comma, which a lot of people believe is the proper way to write, making sure that the correct pauses are made at the right time. Well, I'm of the opinion that there is something called the Shatner comma, where words are often spoken so deliberately and paused at this time that would bring such, yeah, okay, you get it, right? So, William Shatner's singing. The one song that really sort of defined him was Elton John's Rocket Man. Now, Elton's version of that song is 4 minutes and 41 seconds long. William Shatner, he takes that to places you never knew. The video actually shows him cigarette in hand, sitting by a piano, and he takes 7 minutes and 21 seconds to sing Rocket Man. Yeah. Another one, more recently, you may know of the artist CeeLo Green, and he has a song called, well, for commercial radio, it's called Forget You. But use your imagination, and you can imagine what the original name of the song is. And, yeah, William Shatner does a version of that, too, and it's quite, yeah, again, you're not disappointed. If you like William Shatner and his bits, that's a thing. So he actually, a few weeks ago, just celebrated his 94th birthday. My goodness. He's been in the business for 70 years. As I said, he boldly went where no one has gone before. He actually has skirted the edge of space. And, well, he continues to be a presence on many, many online social media platforms. In fact, if you rub them the wrong way, in fact, there are some out there who would consider a block from him on social media to be a badge of honor. I always joke that I would like to get to use his genes when he's done with them, because, well, dang, what a career, what a life. If you ever hear this episode, Mr. Shatner, or can I call you Bill? Thanks. I'd really love it if you could send me a recording of you introducing this podcast. Oh, hell, if I could just chat with you for a short time so that I can fanboy over your career, man, that would be my badge of honor. So if you or Mr. Shatner would like to introduce this show, please send me a recording of you saying, "This podcast is produced by the Fireside Chat Club of Canada." And you can email that to asIseeit at whorpole.ca. That's whorpole.ca. I've spelled that out for Mr. Shatner's benefit because, well, I've told you all about it so many times, you know how to spell it, right? And that is the show for this week. Canada as I See It is a production of the Fireside Chat Club of Canada. Yeah, I know. I just said that. Well, I said it again. The music you're hearing now and at the beginning is Night Owls by Braden Deal. Join me every Sunday for another episode of Canada as I See It. Thank you everyone for listening, and I will talk to you again next week.